There are 57.8 million hikers in the United States. My husband and I decided to strap on our hiking boots and join them. In 2020, both my husband and I were struggling and very broke students, and we decided that we want to make sure we did something to invest in our relationship and ourselves. So we got a state park pass, and honestly, it has been one of our best investments ever. Not only do we get to be out in nature, but we get to spend quality time together while getting fit. On average, hiking burns 440 to 550 calories per hour, which is pretty awesome. Not only is it great for your physical health, but hiking can actually help your mental health as well. There have been studies out there that have shown a drop in cortisol levels after just 30 minutes of hiking. Sounds good to me. Ever since graduating, I have been fighting burnout a little bit, so I decided this year to focus on being outdoors, and hiking really added that extra calorie burn into my weight loss journey, and I am so glad that I decided to do it.
The first state park we went to was Cooper Lake State Park. We wanted to avoid a huge rainstorm that was near our house, but unfortunately we did not pick far enough away, and it started pouring literally 2 minutes after we got there. And of course we had no umbrellas, so I made a makeshift hat with a bag from the car. But the weather did finally clear up and look a lot more beautiful. It made for some fantastic pictures, but some very, very muddy trails. This is what we're hiking through right now. Totally a good workout. Downside is it's really hard when your foot gets stuck. This is what happens when you go hiking after it rains. Let's see how he does. Please don't fall. Oh God. Holy crap, it just keeps going. Oh, guess it's my turn to go swimming.
Trust me, do it fast, fast.
I can't, I'm coming off. Oh God. Okay. I got my leggings on the last one. This was our first time ever going hiking after a crazy rainstorm, and honestly, we ended up loving it. It was absolutely gorgeous for all of the views. I just could not get enough of staring at the sky. It definitely satisfied my need to be out in nature, and I gotta tell you, hiking through mud is probably one of the most brutal workouts I've had to do. We were so sore the next day. It's so beautiful! I did get a dessert from Buc-ee's on the way back home. It's kind of our tradition when we go hiking, so I might need to make a new habit. We are on our way for our second hike. We are going to Eisenhower State Park. What's this park known for since you picked it?
Like trails, fun trails.
Okay, so trails.
I don't
Real
know.
specific. We're gonna find out together.
I like to be surprised.
In spite of me putting him on the spot, Javi was right. This park did in fact have trails, which we very much enjoyed. Yay, there's a water feature! If there's one thing I have learned in all of our many hikes, it's that I am motivated solely by water. There has to be a body of water somewhere nearby for me to enjoy the hike. I don't know what it is, but it does it for me. We did go hiking shortly after a rain, much like our last hike, but I gotta say the terrain at this park was much different. There was a lot more hills and there were a ton of rocks, whether that be big ones where we were climbing up and down them and trying not to fall, or lots of little stabby ones. It made me very glad that I had hiking boots. I will say our hiking shoes do well for that, even if mine are too small. While the mud at the last park was fun, this one was hard. It was so slippery, it did not want to let go of your boots, and Javi actually had to lend me his walking stick just so I wouldn't freaking bust my butt. I feel like everywhere we walked, I had to keep a really close eye out so I didn't fall.
I highly recommend using the other thing.
This one moves too, FYI.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Now we're gonna switch to the stabby thing. Oh God, there's just mud everywhere.
Yeah, be careful. They're all slippery. So just make sure you plant and don't put forward momentum or back momentum. Just plant down. Yeah, exactly.
She was like going backwards.
Careful. When in doubt, just stab down.
Okay, ignore my finger in the panoramic view. Clearly, I'm a professional, but oh my gosh, this place had some views. It was gorgeous. Even getting down to the little swimming area, although it had 40 bajillion steps, was absolutely beautiful. They had views everywhere, honestly. Like, there was just nothing to complain over because it was amazing. They even had fossils in some of the walkways that you can see. There was a lot of different pathways. We really just had fun hiking all over the place, although we definitely ended up going a lot further than we thought.
Looks like we made it. I've never been so happy to see a car in my life. It is sunset, and collectively, I've walked 15,053 steps today and a total of 6.58 miles. My hips are dying. Really, all of my lower body is dying, but we're both feeling pretty stinking proud of ourselves, which is awesome. We were kind of talking about how we went hiking last summer at Enchanted Rock, and it was a beast. It's literally like a dome of a mountain, and it was 98 degrees. I couldn't even make it to the top, partially because it was hot as crap and I was about to pass out. I have like extreme freaking fear of falling from heights. So standing out on that ledge today was absolutely terrifying, but also kind of cool because I felt like I gave myself a little challenge for that. But we also remembered when we were at Enchanted Rock, seeing this man sprint. I mean, like sprint. Well, okay, jog. Up and down the freaking mountain. And I kid you not, he passed us like 14 times. I had overheard him talking to another couple, and he said that he was training for, I believe it was an ultra marathon. And honestly, that's really what stuck with me. And then seeing a couple people like jog past this like crazy, muddy, rocky trail today, we were drowning in the mud. But there were still a few people jogging past us. And I was like, how? Like, we're dead. But seeing that was my reminder that there's things in life to enjoy, not only other than food, but more of like the reason that we do all this is so we can be active. I'm not just going to the gym for an aesthetic. Yeah, that's nice. Same for, you want to eat healthy so you don't like die early and all that. I'm also doing it because I want to live a full life. I want to go out and do all sorts of activities and explore. And the fact that I am like physically able to go out and do all these things right now, even though, yes, they're at a much slower, more struggly pace, gives me something to look forward to because I'm like, I'm already blessed to be able to do this, but it's just going to get so much better and so much more fulfilling as I can get in better shape to do this. So I am super freaking happy. Sorry, I spit. I am super freaking happy that we did this.
Many months later.
We are officially on vacation. It has been months since we've gotten to go hiking, courtesy of my lovely foot and ankle injuries, which are still being sassy, but I'm over it and we're going hiking. We are on our way to Brazos Bend State Park. We drove in past their adorable entrance sign. Javi took a second to get familiar with the maps because I will definitely get us lost. And then he took a second to become a beautiful butterfly, and then we were off. The best part is that for a water-motivated girl, this entire place was basically water. There was tons and tons of marshland, and it was beautiful.
Hello, pretty birdie. So many chichadas.
I've been mispronouncing cicadas as chichadas since I was a kid, so it's stuck. If you grew up in the South, this is a sound that you get to hear almost every summer when they're buzzing in the trees, and it is so soothing to me.
This wind is amazing. Look at the birdie. Hello, handsome.
It might have just been that it was a beautifully breezy day, but I was honestly amazed with how many different types of wildlife there were in this state park. We saw so many different varieties of birds. I felt like I spent half of my time getting distracted from the walk to just gawk at them. Now, the birds were not the only types of wildlife. Brazos Bend State Park is actually known for having alligators. We hadn't seen one yet at this point, but we had seen about 1 million questionably phrased signs that made us laugh.
I don't know, but who would try? Why is there a reason for the sign of do not molest the alligators? I'm assuming they mean don't bother them, but still, they could have chosen any other number of words.
Yeah, awkward. Awkward.
Y'all, we have only gone half a mile. Javi's drenched in sweat.
I am disgustingly sticky. It is so humid out here that it is like zapping our energy so quickly. It's insane.
On the bright side, there were quite a few places where you could take refuge from the sun underneath some gorgeous trees to get your rest breaks.
Hi, Wiggly boy.
There was a ton of butterflies in their little nature area, and I was loving it. And of course, quite a few ground squirrels that were very curious and running all over the place. There was, of course, a few more birds. They really were active that morning doing a bunch of fishing. And one of the coolest ones that we saw was actually running across the plants that were on the water and would dive down to get his food. It was pretty neat. I was thoroughly enjoying getting to spend quality time with Javi, and it was nice to be able to get just a few steps in. I wasn't planning on doing a crazy long walk just because of my foot, but I was happy to be out there. Nature, however, had other plans.
There is a big boy. He is a big boy. We're not getting too close because we want to live, but holy crap, that's big.
Y'all see that big lump on the pathway ahead? That's right, there was a big old alligator sunning himself.
He is huge.
He even smiled for us on camera. Unfortunately, he was also blocking the return path to the car.
You shall not pass!
We had no desire to end up on the 6 o'clock news by becoming alligator dinner, so we had to turn around and take a much longer pathway back to the car. Unfortunately for my foot, I got 12,855 steps in.
We successfully made it back to the car. We are exhausted. I literally have my hair cemented to my head with sweat. So sexy, I know. But I gotta say, that was one of the coolest state parks we have ever been to, in spite of getting a bajillion steps in because we had to take the long route with that alligator sunning himself. One of my friends was like, oh, you could have just walked across. He wasn't gonna do anything. And I'm just like, they're pretty adamant about staying at least 30 feet away from those guys. And I'm not gonna risk it to become dinner. But it was super freaking cool to see that. We actually saw 3 alligators total. Well, I saw 2. Bobby saw 3. I didn't get a picture of the third one because he was splashing around in the water. The amount of nature that you can see in that park was absolutely freaking incredible. I feel like we just spent half the time like gawking at how gorgeous the views were and all of the different types of birdies there and wildlife. I had so much fun. I highly, highly recommend this park. The only downside is you will get absolutely massacred in the face by mosquitoes and gnats. So if you have one of those little hats with the net around it to like keep bugs out your face, it would be the place for it for sure. I felt like they kept sacrificing themselves in our eyeballs. But honestly, freaking amazing experience. Would absolutely do it again with more bug spray. When I started hiking this year, I thought that I was going to be going for hikes every single weekend, getting super strong, having all these crazy kinds of adventures. And I thought that the weight was just going to drop off because hiking is a fantastic workout. What I did not expect was to be put pretty much completely out of commission because of the injury to my foot, which then, of course, led to me being less active, having some frustrating weight gain, and having to get padded hiking boots to even go at all. Now, while I hiked a whole lot less than I thought I was going to because of that injury, I gotta say, I feel genuinely revitalized just for the time that I did get to spend in nature. It made me appreciate it so much more and just appreciate things other than weight loss and the stuff on my to-do list. Sometimes you gotta get out of your own head and go outside.
That's good advice.
Getting to a healthy weight is absolutely important, but it's also important to find things in life that bring you joy. And for me, hiking is definitely one of them. Now, for those of you who are wondering how things are going with my foot injury, well, that is a story for another time. Bye-bye.